Hey everybody, this is VP with Metaverse News 1. We are going over Cardania again today, and when we do that, I have a co-host. His name is the Wizard of Roz. Roz, say hello to everybody.
Hello to everybody.
And what we are doing today, if you remember our last video, we talked all about Terraforms and what they do. So we have gone to that website I mentioned before, cnft.tools. We've gone to the Cardania Terraforms section here. I've already sorted by price. And what Roz and I want to do today is we have both written down some of the best values we think are out there on the board. And if you see one and you agree, feel free to go stamp it, because if you don't, somebody else probably will. Now, before we start, Roz, a question overall. In terms, you've seen it a lot. Sometimes there's a lot of like really sick value out there on the market. Sometimes there's just not. Would you say this market as we sit here right now, overall, is on the hot side or the cold side?
I'd probably say cold in general. There's a lot of people, not in terms of our value, but there's a lot of people kind of there's a lot of people liquidating for like these bigger mints, Goombles, right, and alley cats and things like that. So like I don't necessarily know if there's a lot of people buying, but that I guess would mean that it's a good thing. So for the seller, I would say that it's actually not so great, because there are a lot of people out there looking to get rid of stuff to create some liquidity for some of the other mints. But as a buyer, I think there's a lot of really good values out there for those reasons. People needing the liquidity. We're in a bear market too, still kind of, you could say so. I think there are some really good deals out there. Given our most recent announcement, and we can go into that in a later video, I'm sure. But there are some more use cases now out there for the land tokens. So I can only estimate that a lot of these will get bought up pretty soon.
Yeah. So what he's talking about, and we will mention this in later videos, is the land game is finally starting to come together. Next, Epic, which remember in Cardano parlance, Epics are 5 days. So about 5 days from now, we will be able to start playing this game. So load up while you can. I would say that for the buyer, it seems to be a bit cold, just because I'm always looking for deals, and I've seen times where just like it looks like there's so many you couldn't even buy enough if you wanted to. But right now, I'm not sure. Maybe somewhere in the middle, maybe leaning towards the cold side. But the purpose of this video is to show you at least what we think, and Roz and I are both very experienced in this arena, what we feel like a good deal actually looks like, given the current floor of 90 ADA. And Roz brought up a really good point too. We're still in a bear market. So multiply this by 0.36 or 37, wherever ADA is at right now, and that's what you're actually paying in United States dollars. So these are crazy deals no matter what. But in terms of what the market usually looks like, it's not the best, but it doesn't matter. Like Roz said, you should still start looking at these very seriously as soon as you possibly can, because once this game starts, and then after that, once we start actually earning ADA from this, or earning RAD tokens, which I think might be happening as well, these things are going to be absolutely gone. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, Roz, altogether, how many do you have?
After adding one about 15 minutes ago, I have 8 total, and that's only based on the fact that I kind of wanted to categorize a few things. So I have 4 different categories that I put these in.
Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to do 2 for every one of mine, because I have 4.
Okay.
And I believe there is one crossover. So go ahead and
Which is pretty neat. I might interject that we had one crossover
I didn't expect that
without
either.
communicating. Like
No,
we actually.
You're right. Yeah, because I think you and I look for 2 different things, which is actually very good. You'll get 2 different perspectives here. But let's go ahead and jump right into things. I don't want the intro to be too long here, and start us off with your bargain basement clear out favorite Terraform on the board here.
Bargain Basement Clear Out Terraform is going to be number 17003. The one right there you see on the floor. That's what you're talking about, right?
That's the one I mean, yeah.
Okay, the lowest one that I have on my list. I have two in that floor list, but I'll let you do yours before I do my second one.
That's fine. So for 95 ADA, the second cheapest Terra on the entire board, what are we getting here, and what makes this such a good deal?
Well, you get a Badlands Terraform, which first and foremost, I believe that is the rarest Terraform outside of Prismatic. It could be that and Artificial. I'm not sure, but it's very close to being one of the rarest ones.
No, I think you're right. It is Badlands. And what does Badlands drop resource-wise? Do you recall?
Darn, it's not. I don't have it in front of me.
You get two. You do get two, though. I know that. I think.
Yes.
Is sand maybe?
Gosh, I wish I was more prepared for that. I'm so sorry.
No, that's
but
fine.
You do get You do get a unique resource for the Badlands as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you actually get two. So on top of that, what else do we get here?
You're also here. You're also getting water, a freshwater river. I looked at it as an overall fact that not only is it on the floor, but you kind of get a variety of traits as well because you get a primary and a secondary mineral. Not a lot of terraforms have both, and so you get iron and fossils. So you're gonna get iron and bones from that, which is pretty cool. And up there you got a lithoglyph and spores. So, like I said, like a variety of traits and resources to gather from it. Now, the power level and quantum flux are both fairly low, second to the lowest of the spectrum. But as you'll see as a running theme with my value terraforms, those won't be taken too much into consideration. Quantum flux, I will have a few that have a higher one. But, yeah, I didn't focus too much on power level because and that's a personal preference, but I find rad in other places, so I didn't focus on that for the terraforms themselves.
Yeah, and I did not either, and I'll tell you why. Is because I was looking. I think people are just really going after those high power level lands because anything 5 and over was just really overpriced. I thought for what you get. Towards something like this, I agree. Your cheapest or second cheapest or third cheapest on the board is usually just a barren wasteland with absolutely nothing on it and super low numbers. Yeah. You're getting low numbers here, but you're getting stuff. You're right. I agree. This is especially if you're just starting out and you need something that gives you things. If you consider the 2 extra resources you're getting just by having Badlands, this is quite a deal. I like it.
Yep.
Let's go on to your second. And I can just type it in here and we can find it.
You don't want to do yours?
No, let's go 2-1 because you have 8 and I have
All
4. Right. So yeah, we'll do it that way.
I'm going to do that. It's a 02195. This is also my other near floor terraform. It's probably actually like 4th row on that list there.
I hear you. Okay,
when you sort it. But anyway, so for 120 ADA, which is about 40 USD at this point, a little bit more, maybe 45, you're getting 2 of the rarest. You're getting 2 of the rarest of a trait. So you're getting a Cardanium bunker, which we just learned today is going to help add in your defensive abilities for your terraforms in the game. And so that's the rarest type of bunker right there. And then you get a Cursed River. So I lied. It's not the rarest, but it's almost the rarest water. Funky River is the rarest water type, but it is very close to the rarity of Funky Water. So you get a unique and very rare water. You get the highest defensive bunker. You get Prismatic Moats, which I think is also like second to the rarest atmosphere. And again, you get primary and secondary resources, copper and bones there. So it just all around, again, variety of traits, variety of resources, and some rarity that you could find next to nothing on the floor.
I like it. I agree with all of it. So I'll go ahead and start with mine, and mine is actually the cheapest on the board right here. Now Now, you can almost see just by looking at it why I probably feel this way without saying it out loud. Fair to say?
Um,
So I'll tell you why. Now, these numbers are nothing to write home about. For the cheapest price on the board, you're not going to get that. But for 90 ADA,
the custodial nanites in the toxic lake.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could really do worse. Now, you said prismatic motes you thought were second. They're actually fourth. You have
Oh, wow. Okay.
You have cursed nanites, then you have anti-gravity, then you have custodial, then you have prismatic motes.
okay.
So this is actually above prismatic motes. You're getting that. You're getting the toxic lake with the cursed liquid inside of it. A little bit of a copper bonus here, and really, what else?
Oh, don't forget about your livestock. You're going to get some meat and leather from that, aren't you?
You
Or just meat?
You get leather from critters, so you
Oh,
get
right,
you
right,
get,
right.
you get
Leather
the meat
from
from
critters.
livestock. So yeah, nice little bonus thrown in there. Like livestock and copper don't even need to be there, but they are, so it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
But this plot is really about getting the custodial nanites and the toxic lake for the cheapest price on the board. Too good to pass up, in my opinion. That makes it my very first.
It's been quite a while. Leave that up just a second. It's been quite a while since I've been to CNFT tools, and the trait floor, excluding the current, that's a really interesting tool over on the right-hand column there. So you can see the next highest toxic lake is 150. So
Yeah,
if you just wanted...
they didn't always have this. That's true. So if you're looking for something in particular, this column here is great. This has not
It's
been around
incredible
forever.
to know like how much of the market you're taking advantage of. Like to see like for all intents and purposes, what if that was like 250? What if you found something in that next highest toxic lake? That's like not only a value tool, but it's like a flipping tool as well.
It's great, and I don't want to give too much away because it kind of coincides with one of my other plots. But yes, good catch on that, because this has not always been around. This is something that's been added in the last 2 or 3 months, I think. So it's relatively new. But let's go ahead and move in to your next two, and then we'll get into my next one.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go in a row. So like I'll do my next four because the two categories are pretty similar categories. So, the first one's gonna be I did 12 trait count as a filter. So I like filtering by trait count and doing like the high 11, 12, 13 even sometimes, and seeing if somebody drops one there, not realizing that they're dropping something packed with resources. So we'll do the 12 trait count ones. My first one is going to be a very cheap one. 07225.
Yeah, 215 ADA for 12 traits already is pretty tasty. So tell us more what we have here.
Okay, so looking at it, you have kind of like middle of the ballpark, power level, quantum flux. Sometimes I like to look at them and add them up as like a quantitative power level, so to speak, like strength in a sense. So like looking at that as 8 out of a possible 14, out of a possible 18 isn't terrible. So you have the prismatic motes. You have activity, which is something that's we didn't see on the recent the previous terraforms. So that's kind of cool. You have a defensive trait in the bunker. You have livestock. You have water. You have a defensive flora, the hazardous flora. Now, it's the most common one, but you have that. You have a primary and you have a secondary mineral. So you have virtually everything but lithoglyphs. And lithoglyphs, wood, and shrines. And shrines are faith, which isn't even really a unique resource. Same with ruins. It's research points, so they aren't like unique to the specific trait, so you could find them on any of those traits. So this one I just kind of picked because it was the cheapest. I think it was the cheapest 12 trait, and it had average power level and quantum flux, kind of slightly lower than average power level, but kind of just gave you the full Monty of resources. And for the price of 2 at the floor, you can pretty much get all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And here's why I think people might drop this sometimes, because this magnetic activity and these prismatic motes are the 2 resources that cosmetically don't show up on the Terraform. So it looks like it has a lot less than 12 at first glance.
Right, exactly.
So a bit deceptive there. Good catch. Now let's move on to your next one.
So the next one's going to be 18604, another 12 trait.
And we, ladies and gentlemen, have a crossover. This is also one of mine.
Hey, hey. And this is actually the most expensive one on my entire list, by the way.
It might be mine too. Not 100% sure on that, but yeah. So yeah, we don't have any super expensive plots on here. These are all, like I said, I don't know about you. I don't have any like crazy blowout super expensive plots in my wallet. Mine are all value. I'm a discount shopper when it comes to these things.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is right up my alley for sure. Now, so it's grassland and has a lot on it. Let me just start by saying this is a super defensive plot. Because there's only two different types of resources that give you defense: this bunker and the hazardous flora. And you are getting a pretty decent flora, and you are getting the best bunker in the game. So for defensive purposes, and we finally found out today that it's going to mean something, that alone really makes this enticing. And for the longest time, nobody paid attention to these resources because they couldn't use them yet. But we're here now. So these things are going to start to go. So you might really want to consider this out there, everybody. But I'll start off with that being a big reason to buy this. What are some other reasons that you like on this one?
Well, the power level 6 is actually a nice added bonus to have on a resource packed Terra, because usually when they're packed with resources, people are if they're listed low, the reason it's listed low is because of those low numbers. So that was a really cool added bonus. When I was looking at it aesthetically, I'm like, oh well, I obviously filtered for the 12 trait count, so I had the list there. But aesthetically looking at it, I'm like, this looks like it has just a lot of surface stuff and a lot of things that I can identify just right off the bat. And sure enough, an orange lithoglyph. While all the lithoglyphs have the same, roughly the same rarity, if I'm not mistaken, or close
almost
to it, they're unique.
Yeah.
So our orange lithoglyphs give you orange runes, whereas a red would give you red, and so on. So I like any plot that has lithoglyphs because it's a unique resource. I have no idea what it's going to be used for. It could be not any more valuable or less valuable than the other runes, but just knowing that I have a unique one, makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the man, that burning man trap is just it's nice to see like the defensive stuff get a nod in the game. So like I feel like those are, you see it down there is 97. It's a floor, like it's a floor trait if you think about it. It doesn't even matter which one you get. Like you'll find so many on the floor with a hazardous flora. So that may shift soon.
Yeah, and I think this power level 6 really does put it over the top because, like I said, almost everything I was looking at that was 6 and above was just terrible value in terms of traits, but this one is not. You get a lot. Worth putting down the chunk of change. You can buy this one instead of buying 2 plots for 125 and be just as well off, and probably resell it down the line for a lot more money once this game does take off. So good choice there for both of us, I think. And I'll go ahead and go kind of along the same lines you were talking about. It's plot number 7666.
Ooh.
And again, it's up there with 235. And one of the things you said before was having both minerals.
Yeah.
How about having both of the best minerals in the game included?
And you notice all of the terraforms so far have had both primary and secondary that we've chosen.
It's
It's
weird,
so
yeah.
crucial.
It's not even really something I look for, but if it's there, I am not complaining at all.
Yeah.
You have the lithoglyphs, which you like, the prismatic motes, which I think are really essential too. Not a bad power level quantum flux. It's not that huge give and take you're normally looking for. You get the rarest fauna in the game, and decent water at the
Yeah.
same time. So I really think you could do a lot worse than this. All those
Oh, don't
Cardanian plots. Yeah.
don't forget about your palms there.
Oh yeah, get the palms you get two resources from that too. You get lightwood and coconuts
And coconuts.
from them. So like I said, if you're starting out and you want a ton of resources, you're getting that.
I have a lovely bunch of coconuts.
I'm a little short on coconuts actually, but these Cardanium plots, as soon as people see Cardanium in these plots, they have a tendency of going pretty quickly. So, something to look out for, and that is another one on my board. But I am down now to 2 left. You have a lot more, so let's go ahead and do some Roz plots. What do you got?
Okay. Let's shift from the trait count then, and let's go to just a couple that I noticed had some just all around good value for rarity of traits for under 200 ADA. I tried to keep everything other than that those two in the 12 trait counts under 200 and did a decent job of it. But we'll start with 00679.
And I miscounted. I only have 1 left, so we'll do quite a few of yours here.
That will smash them out pretty quickly.
Oh, back to the
Badlands.
Back to the Badlands. So what?
Another Badlands, and so
another Cardanium.
The first thing that I saw, and me being the Cardanium king, I actually didn't notice that at first. So what I looked for this one, and something that I'll leave here real quickly, is you get the same amount of faith that you get from a time loss shrine that you do with a quantum shrine.
Yeah, I hate leaking alpha like that out to the public. I've always found that to be a bit of an advantage, but these plots have been out there long enough. I guess we can finally tell people that.
We do have the codex. This could be a good way to drop the codex and let people know there's a way to find out all of this information at the Cardania Codex. Bagboy had been working on that quite some time. But anyway, so the first thing I looked for was a quantum shrine, and this was one of the first plots that popped up. So I was shocked that the value for not just getting a quantum shrine at close to the floor of what it is, but I also get lithoglyphs on a Badlands with Cardanium, and you guessed it, another secondary of bones. So and look at that, Common Hydra. I just all around under 200 ADA. I think that this is one of the better plots, one of the better, more applicable plots in the game too.
And it's so funny because your main basis for getting this plot is very similar to the last one I have left. But we'll save that. Give me another one.
So the next one is right around along the same lines, 08279. This one's just generally decent traits and value.
Again, 195. Yeah, I can already see a lot on there.
Under 200, not only aesthetically looks cool. You see the popping of the curse lake and the Cardanium right off the bat. Give you that like color pop of like, hey, this is a rare thing. But then livestock, wood, and lithoglyphs, and just getting all of those things that produce unique stuff with a quantum flux of 5, by the way. Another thing affected by your citizens, which we're covering in a later video as well. Citizens affect your resource production by 25%, and that includes your quantum flux, not your rad produced by your power level. That's affected by your founder's cards in your wallet, but citizens attached to plots will actually directly affect your quantum flux and the amount of energy that you produce from that. So whenever I see a plot that has a decent quantum flux and just even a couple traits or unique traits like lithoglyphs or things like that, I jump on it because I know that my citizen will get some serious value out of that.
Yeah, if you're going to get Cardanium, Cursed Lake, and a solid Quantum Flux out of that. I can't argue with that, dude. Under 200 is a really good buy. Yeah, so give me a no. How many do you have left altogether?
I have two more.
Okay, give me one, and I'll do one, and you'll finish this off tonight.
Okay. Um, this will be the 11 trait count that I filtered for and just thought it was really great value for 150 ADA, 103.70. So, a lot of stuff on the surface that you can tell, right off the bat that I like with the Toxic Lake and the lithoglyphs. But then again, primary and secondary mineral, defensive trait in the reinforced bunker, and the critters. And again, a reputable power level in quantum flux, a 7 total. So power level right in the middle ground too. I'm just kind of proud of finding something that I think gets a lot of and it I think these things get stigmatized by like some flippers when they see rank 11,402. Well, like how great can that be in the collection if I'm paying that much over floor for something that's like not even that highly ranked or that rare. And like it just gets lost in the fact that like all of these resources do something. So I think some people looking at it from a flipping standpoint might have either listed it or passed by it when they see that price for that rank, but not knowing that they probably have something that's in terms of like game value much more highly ranked.
Yeah, that's weird. I haven't looked at rank in such a long time because I don't care about rarity. Yeah, because that's it doesn't do anything. It
Nope.
does nothing for you in the game.
Not at all.
And it's
I've early on. I'm sorry to interrupt, but early on, I flipped a couple like gold shrines for people that like either didn't know what they had or whatever, and you're able to sell those types of things just high because of their rarity. But when thinking about it in terms of the use case in the game and stuff, it just kind of like falls by the wayside.
Yeah. So this one I'm not in love with, but I will say for $150 getting 11 traits, especially for somebody starting out, pretty darn solid. Sure. I will say that. My last one, I hope this is still here. I'm going to feel dumb if it's not. Is going to be number 1088. Please still be for sale. It is. And I don't think I need to say much here. You talked about getting that quantum shrine for the cheapest price possible. What you see right here is a lithoglyph's Time Lost. They give you Time Lost runes, which are extremely rare in the game. And as we will see, your next plot is going to be over 50 rad more. 50 rad ADA. 54 ADA more.
Yeah.
For the next Time Lost plot. Anything else is just gravy, and you're not getting much else, but if you're going to give me a 3 power level on top of that, I would buy this plot for this alone. Because let me tell you, you're not going to want to be without these things, because I have seen this floor in the past, Roz, go as high as like 450 ADA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I early on, I was lucky to mint several and then bought a few. So I have a decent little handful of Time Lost lithoglyphs. But one thing I was going to say about this one is aesthetically, yeah, it's dull, but like I think it looks pretty cool, given the fact that there's nothing. It's barren. There's nothing there, and the 1 or 2 traits that are on top of it don't look out of place. They don't look strange. They don't look off-putting. It's not like you have like a random orange lithoglyph or like a weird like machine shrine that looks all like purple or red, or like you have a grayish green hydra defending your barren wasteland with a gray lithoglyph. So it almost looks like it kind of belongs on like a moon or that kind of geography.
And I can't disagree with that. I'm not really into the overall aesthetic of the land itself, but a lot of people are. which means if you ever want to go resell this down the line, that can add value to what you have. But I just think getting the floor and seeing this floor under 200 ADA for a time lost, I have not seen that in a while, so I had to include it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good call. Oh, I was just gonna say, there's a couple of these on this list, honestly, that I would probably be buying soon if they don't get bought.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I always like get to a certain point and say, okay, I'm stopping. But if you're going to leave this stuff on the market, I'm probably going to take it too. And those time loss, let me tell you, there's somebody that you and I both know who usually when time loss gets below a certain floor, he gobbles it up right away. But that one is still there. So just something to consider. I'm not sure what the time is in Quebec right now, but let's hope he's asleep and somebody can come and snag that one.
Oh gosh, I know you're talking about. The time in Quebec is my time actually.
It's the same as yours, yeah. So
Yes.
maybe he doesn't. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he doesn't see it or doesn't want it. But he watches our videos too. So shout out to our guy. But yeah, let's finish off here strong. What do you got?
All right, so I am going to go with the rarest defensive trait out there. It is a hazardous flora known as the Nemesis Hydra.
Nem Hydra, yeah.
And I'm going to skip the cheapest one listed, but I will give it an honorable mention and say either of the two that I'm about to mention are very much worth it. But the one that I'm going to list is, I think, a better value for only 48 or more than the cheapest one. So the one I'm pulling up is 01399.
Fungal plot too.
Oh, brother, just you wait.
Usually
purple everywhere.
Never see value on fungal plots because fungal people are crazy and they gobble them up immediately.
And look, it's purple everywhere.
Purple on purple on purple. This is
Void Shrine Cardanium fungal.
This is the Barney plot.
With a Nemesis Hydra that's got little purple cap. All right, so ignore the 1/1. Everybody just avert your eyes from the 1/1 and soak in the illustrious Nemesis Hydra at 1.75% of the collection. It is the rarest defensive flora out there, and I know going to be sought after. It's got Cardanium, which close to the floor of Cardanium anyway. It's got some palms. There's just like a nice little throw in there for some wood. Got some ultrasaurs as well. Kind of has a little bit of like a alien prehistoric look to it. So kind of like that the ultrasaurs are just there, lore wise. And you get the Void Shrine too, giving you a nice little bump in faith. And the fungal spores. You can't really quite see them, but there's fungal spores on a fungal plot. You can't get more aesthetically pleasing and fungal and just all around just living in purple.
Yeah, so you're going to get double fungal spores from this because you already get that by owning a fungal land itself, and then you're going to get more with the additional spores on top of it. But yeah, dude, I didn't see this one. I might have picked it if I did. This is one heck of a way to take us out of here. I got to say, really nice. Yeah, again, we're not in it for the
nope,
for the numbers here, but
nope,
dude,
sure. Yeah, and also for the flipper out there, you get a pretty high ranked plot in the collection too. Out of 20,000, 1352 isn't bad for a non-prismatic. If you think that 250 of those top ranks are taken up by prismatics as well.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate to everybody, this game is not even out yet, which is the reason why these prices are probably as low as they are, but we are under 5 days away from that no longer being a true statement. Mm-hmm. So take a good look at these, and if you have any questions, please go to the Discord forum, which will be found on the website that I will be leaving down below in the description. And Raz, you have anything else to say to the good people out there before we close it out?
Not really, just get them. Get them while you can, guys. It's like we're talking here is ADA at the price that it's at, and these at the price that they're at compared to compared to other metaverses. Not knocking them or anything, but just saying that you have something to do the moment that you buy your land, which is what most projects can't say for their land plots currently. So get them while you can. There's a lot of them out there with a lot of. I mean, you only scrolled a few rows there. That front page still keeps you under 50 USD or close to 50 USD, and you can get a plethora of use cases within the game. So yeah.
Could not have said it better myself. Thanks again, everybody. We will be back with another video soon, and we'll both see you down the road.